Hey guys, welcome back to another video. So in today's video, I'm going to be drawing Kalk Bay. I've been living here for over 2 years, and it's a really beautiful fisherman town with a rich history and lore, and I really wanted to draw this place because I've been living here for quite a while, and I felt that this place deserves me doing a drawing. One day I was just walking in the shops and I saw this beautiful painting of the town I live in, and I was just talking to my mom and she said, why did I do a drawing? And I said, that's a great idea, I can even post on my YouTube channel, and that's what I'm doing right now. I wanted to do a drawing of the beautiful town I live in, so let's get into the video and I'll tell you more about it. So the reason we moved to Kalk Bay was for a couple of reasons. Reason number one, we lived in another town and it wasn't really the nicest place. People weren't really too supportive, and the only way you could really get recognized in the town is by going out drinking. And to be honest, that wasn't the really type of environment that me and my family really wanted to be a part of, so we moved to Kalk Bay. But the reason we moved to Kalk Bay was more of a conscious decision. We didn't want to move to Cape Town. We wanted to live in the Cape Town area, but we didn't want to live straight Cape Town because we wanted to be somewhere nice and peaceful, so we ended up picking Kalk Bay because it's right by the beach and it's a really nice small quaint town with so much lore, culture, and it's just a really nice place. And also it's quite a nice town. It can get busy now and then, but it's quite peaceful most of the time, and also it's a really inspirational environment to be in. It has beautiful scenery, and also some people there are actually pretty supportive. But to be honest, me and my family aren't really too sure if we want to live in Kalk Bay forever. My dream is to one day live in America, and hopefully I do, because I want to live somewhere where I can be able to make a business out of doing art. And South Africa, it's not really too much of the place to be an artist. Yes, there are some artists who are making money from doing art in South Africa, but for some reason we are struggling quite a lot in South Africa, especially with all the load shedding that's going on. If you do not know what load shedding is, you can Google load shedding in South Africa and it will give you all the information you need. But I want to move to America, and it's okay if you live somewhere, it's okay not being sure where you want to live, and that's how I feel at the moment. I'm not sure if I really want to live in Kalk Bay because America's one of my dream places to be because of all the opportunities for me to get there. To be honest, I remember the day quite vividly when we first moved to Kalk Bay. We ended up driving there, and when we finally got to Kalk Bay, it was about 3 AM during the night, or more the morning. We were very exhausted and tired, and we were looking around for hotels, but most of them were closed. When we finally found one, they allowed us to go in because it kind of felt bad for us because we spent the entire night finding hotels, but because it was public holiday, there was no place we could find. Most of the hotels were closed and we couldn't find anywhere to sleep. But we finally arrived at Kalk Bay and they let us sleep in their hotel. Then we ended up waking up the next day. We arrived at the house, but the problem was that they were still renovating it. They were still busy adding in all the electronics, they were still painting it. So we ended up not knowing where else to go, but luckily my grandparents were coming on holiday to Kalk Bay, so we asked them if we could crash with them because they were on holiday at the caravan park, so they allowed us to stay with them until the house was being finished renovating. So I ended up just exploring the caravan park the rest of the day. We were getting food so we could have a braai, and it was quite nice. But weirdly enough, the caravan park was also a farm because the owner of the land also had a farm of animals. I don't know if he had that farm for goat milk, or I don't know why he had the farm or what he was using it for. Probably it was animals he ended up keeping, but it was quite nice looking at all the animals and just walking around and exploring the entire place. It was a big property of land, so it was quite nice exploring it. Then after we ended up waking up the next day, we moved into the house, brought all our stuff, and ended up packing everything away. It took us quite quite a long time to pack away all our stuff, but we did do it eventually. And then after we packed away all our stuff, we just explored Cape Town, and it's quite nice. Cape Town is really beautiful, and I really enjoyed exploring it and seeing all of what Cape Town had to offer. To be honest, while working on this piece, it did take me quite a long time, but I love that feeling of you working on an art piece and you're just in the zone, drawing, and lately I've been finding it difficult to really get myself into the zone to create art, but it's always the best thing when you're creating an art piece, you're putting on an audiobook or listening to a podcast and just relaxing while doing the artwork. And for this one I was in the zone, but after that I've been struggling trying to get into the zone and really try to draw, and it kind of sucks having art block or not being able to draw, not trying to get into the zone, and that can sometimes happen. I do not know why, and I do not know how to really resolve that issue or how to really deal with it. And if you have a solution, you can leave in the comments if you want, but I'm still trying to find out how to really get myself to be in the zone and really get the inspiration to do it. I have found watching other artists on YouTube make videos can give me the inspiration, and I think that's why I should do more, watch YouTube videos of other artists to really help me get the inspiration to draw, because I love drawing. It's just really difficult to get the inspiration sometimes, and I still struggle with that sometimes, but hopefully in the future I can figure out how to really get inspiration and how to be able to draw more frequently. So as I ended up illustrating these pieces, I've done a little bit of research on how old Kalk Bay really is. To be honest, I have been living here for quite a long time, but I've never really tried googling how old Kalk Bay is. When we first came here and I asked my mom how old Kalk Bay is, she just told me it's really old, and I kind of just left it at that and didn't really think how old Kalk Bay really is. I did some googling and I figured out that Kalk Bay, the buildings were built back in the 17th century, and Kalk Bay was founded back in the 60th century, meaning these buildings are very old, about 300 something years old, and that's really old for all the buildings that are still standing. And one of the houses that me and my family are living in is one of the buildings that have been actually built back in the 17th century, meaning this building that we live in also had other families that also have lived in it, meaning it may be haunted. Of course, that's just a joke. I don't really believe in ghosts, but sometimes me and my mom make jokes about how the house that we live in is haunted. And to be honest, some weird things have actually happened in this house, so I wouldn't be surprised if ghosts do live in here. But Kalk Bay does have really beautiful mountains, and right where we live there's a mountain just behind us, and we have went hiking there and you could see the entire town from that angle. I think that's how this photo has been taken, because I've actually used this drawing I'm working on, I've used a photo as reference, and no, referencing isn't cheating. When the Mona Lisa was created, the artist who created the Mona Lisa used a real person as reference, so I ended up looking for a high-res 4K photo on the interwebs and ended up using that as a reference, so this entire drawing is based off of a photo to really help me capture the entire of this town. Right at the end of drawing this piece, I was quite unhappy with the coloring, and And the reason why is because I was trying to draw the ocean, and I was struggling a lot with drawing the ocean. You'll see to the end what I mean. But as I end up coloring in, I kind of like the bright colors, but right at the end I ended up using a wash of blue to really tone down the colors and show the cold colors, so it can seem like it's the morning, because usually when you wake up in the morning, you wake up to a cold day. Then when the sun starts rising, it becomes warmer and warmer, and I wanted to go for that effect, but first I ended up just doing the normal wash of colors. Then right at the end I ended up adding a wash of blue to show the cold colors and really accentuate the warm colors, and that's what I'm doing with the shading in. The dark parts are the cold colors, while the light parts are the warm colors. I ended up going for that effect to show that it's a bit of a cold day, because during the morning it's always nice and cold, so I wanted to truly go for that effect. Basically, as I end up coloring in, I end up drawing the first thing I end up sketching out, then after I refine it, do the inking, then I start coloring that part of the building. But over time, I end up doing little segments that are close to each other and slowly start coloring in those parts. But when I get closer to the mountain or bushes, then I start tackling those areas, because the bushes, trees have simple colors. Like a tree only has about 2 colors, brown and green. Those are the only colors I use. But when I get closer to the mountain, I end up using different washes of brown and end up going for the easier areas as I end up getting closer, because there are some pretty complicated areas with multiple colors that can be difficult coloring in. Not really difficult, but it can be a pain coloring in those areas, so I end up trying to go for the easiest first, then over time I start going for the hardest. That's the type of coloring technique I usually do over time. Hey guys, I just want to say thank you so much for watching the video, and I hope you have a good rest of your day. Bye.